Apparently a 4D collision experience. So
I don't know what that means, but we'll find out.
Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching. Hello from Arizona. We are currently on a Route 66 trip. We started all the way at the very top of Chicago and are working our way down Route 66 to California. Our first stop in Arizona is the Petrified National Forest. We walked into the visitor center to grab a map, but we also picked up a passport. So this is not the Route 66 passport that we've been looking for, but it's still a passport nonetheless, so we'll take it. It's actually one for the national parks that we're very excited for. Now, again, we haven't been able to find the Route 66 passport just yet because they seem to be sold out everywhere, but one of the stamp options for the passport does say Route 66 on it, so we'll call it a win in our book. Mike is going to fill up the water bottles because it is a hot day out here at the national park, and then we're gonna start traveling down the loop here to go check it out. And because it's so hot, I'm stealing Mike's hat. Ready to go?
got the waters. Hi.
Oh, transit? Oh, it's mini transit.
It's a Ford Transit Connect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we turned it into a camper.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, they save you a lot of gas and you get a place to sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great. We love it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
The ranger liked our van.
Yeah.
And we're officially into our first national park on our big trip this summer.
Wow.
Whoa.
This looks like our first overlook. I think this is the Painted Desert overlook. There's a little walkway up here that we can walk down.
All my life I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you all my life. Day or night, oh, it doesn't matter. 'Cause we're forever after you and I.
Oh, that's the hotel. This is the Painted Desert Inn, which would have had Route 66 visitors back in the day when the road actually ran through the national park. So Route 66 actually ran through this national park at one point, and they would have stayed here.
Daydream in my head, I'm drifting, swept up in the moment, wishing every now and then we could just pretend that it's just you and me together. We could stay right here forever, nowhere else to be. It's no mystery that you make the sun come out, you make the world spin around, you are sweeter than the summer with a drop of honey.
Before the Petrified National Park was designated as a national park, Route 66 used to run right through this area. And the ranger up at the Welcome Center said that if you look for the telephone poles, which we're passing now, that was actually right next to the old alignment of Route 66. So you're not allowed to drive on this portion of Route 66 because you have to stay on the paved path, but the telephone poles would have gone right up against the road for Route 66, so you can see them off into the distance. That's old Route 66.
Oh, you can almost see the discoloration on the grass near it.
And if you look way out there, you can see where the new highway is. What we've been finding in our travels is that a lot of Route 66 parallels the highway within feet of each other, at least within eyesight. So you can even see it way out here in a national park, the old alignment of Route 66 and the highway, not that far.
Where we are right now is actually the original alignment of historic Route 66. This is where this road ran, and it parallels those telephone poles that we were seeing before and are right next to now, as it made its way through this area, which is now the Petrified Forest National Park.
They even have an old car to represent the types that would have been driving back in its heyday. Granted, it's seen some wear and tear, but just like this road, it's succumbed to what now is the national park.
That is a 1932 Studebaker that they have kind of mounted out here at this marker site to show where all of this would have been years and years ago.
This is the only national park in the entire country that has some of the old historic Route 66 on it, so it was an absolute must on a Route 66 trip.
Never felt love like this. I'm up so high, feelings might be playing tricks. Like birds in the sky, making Mondays into fun days, catching feelings like the sun rays, falling easy like a sweet dream. I'm deep, I'm sinking even deeper still.
We are about halfway through the drive through the Petrified Forest National Park. We passed the Puerto Pueblo hike, the petroglyphs, and now we're at the Blue Mesa Trail, which actually allows you to walk down into the park and see all of the amazing colored formations.
Yeah, it's really cool that you can actually see all the lines and layers of history working its way up, and the blue is really blue, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, this is definitely a very cool stop. It's a bit of a hike. It's definitely warm. The sun is out today.
Yeah, it's not too long of a hike. It's what, a mile?
Yeah, I think it's a mile, but I think you feel it in the heat. Yeah.
So definitely bring water.
Yep.
You're in my head, in my arms. I can't shake the feeling. Put my hand on my heart, I won't let go. You're my light through the dark. You keep me believing, thanking my lucky stars everywhere I go. A little bit of love makes it feel right. Little bit of love waking me up, making the sunshine. Little bit of love from up above, taking me so high. Little bit of love, can't get enough, won't you be mine? Little bit of
I remember it being this steep coming down. That's funny.
do something kinda crazy. I wanna go drive all night with you right next to me. I wanna go feel the pounding of your heartbeat. When we get up high, won't look down, we won't look back. Yeah, when I die, I wanna know I lived like that. I wanna run in wide spaces, fly like the wind in high places, rushing like water on my face, with your hand in my hand. Ooh, I wanna dance into the morning, kiss you like you've never been kissed before me. I would go anywhere you wanna go, with your hand in my hand.
It said free-range cattle and to watch out for them in the road. I didn't necessarily expect to see that because there's all of this land around us. But wouldn't you know it, there was a huge, not huge, but a herd of cattle on the road. Right now, we are 1 mile from impact, as the signs keep telling us, or maybe in between 1 and 2 miles from impact. This is the Meteor Crater National Landmark, is the site that we're driving up to now.
Super epic.
I know, this feels really important.
Getting in with you.
Are you? Okay.
Baby steps. There he goes. We just purchased our tickets and it actually comes with free guided tours. Well, not free, it was $50 for the whole experience. But you get to go on some guided tours, watch the movie, and then you also have access to see the crater itself. So I'm very excited about this.
Apparently a 4D collision experience. So
I don't know what that means, but we'll find out if I press the right button.
I think so. Is this where we want to be? Were you paying attention to the directions?
No.
Yeah, collision 4D experience. I think is every 12 minutes.
Oh.
We're up here, this whole complex, and that's the impact site. Wow.
It's the largest discovered fragment of what created the...
Whoa. Let's touch it.
So we killed some time in the really cool museum that they had here, just enough time to make it to the 4D experience that they have here. So basically you sit in these chairs and they start rocking and shaking and you have to like do a mission. They're shooting air at you, there's strobe lights, the whole 9 yards. Not really much to do with the meteor here, but a really cool space experience. So now what we're gonna do is walk into the documentary that they have playing before we get the grand reveal of the meteor itself. So we We just wrapped up with the really informative movie where we learned a bunch of facts for what we really came here for, which is the Meteor Crater.
This site, as you can kind of see behind us, is the most perfectly preserved meteor impact site on Earth.
Because this is so well preserved, it allowed scientists to be able to study and identify 200 more impact zones as a result. Because before that time period, they just assumed everything that looked like this was from volcanic activity.
Take a breath, hold it in, let it go. Slip away on a cloud outside my window. Everything is looking up way up here, way up here, way up here. Everything is looking up way up here, way up here, way up here. Everything is looking up way up here, way up here, way up here. Everything is looking up way up here. Everything is looking up way.
We're back in our van now, and we're heading towards the sunset that is in front of us. It was really neat to be able to see it from the top of the crater. Now what we're doing is just watching for cattle while we make our way back to Winslow. We actually passed through Winslow to get here, but because it closed at 7 and we were running a tad behind schedule as usual, we raced over here, but now we're gonna backtrack a little bit to Winslow to go stand on that corner.
We'll never get old. We'll never get old. Yeah, we rode through town with our music too loud, and we sang out of tune every note. And we stood on the edge.
We are now standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. I feel like we've had that song on repeat the whole way out here. And that song is Take It Easy by the Eagles.
We are here on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and what a fine sight to see. There's a girl, my lord, and a flatbed Ford.
That's probably
But
the
it's not.
cheesiest thing I've
It's
ever
not
seen
slowing
too.
down to look at us.
All right, this is over.
I think that that's been one of the coolest roadside stops along Route 66.
What's really funny is that it was really because of the 1970s song Take It Easy from the Eagles that it became like a flourishing Route 66 town.
So the city, in a way to immortalize the song and really recognize the influence that it has had, created this Standing on a Corner Park where the lyrics come to life there. You've got the corner, the flatbed Ford, all kind of in place there for a really nice photo opportunity and just a fun thing. If you don't know the song, the most important part is the second verse.
So this is the last stop on Route 66 for the night, and for the next day actually, because we're heading to the Grand Canyon. We're gonna shoot up to the Grand Canyon tomorrow and then have all the fun Grand Canyon activities, shoot back down, and then take Route 66 through the other half of Arizona.
We've really done our best to stay as close to Route 66 as we can the entire way along, and we haven't really jumped off too far to go see different things as we've passed through these states. There are only a couple things that could really get us to do that, and one of them is the Grand Canyon. But we are going to return to our kind of departure point in order to make sure we cruise Route 66 the whole way and not miss a site.
So we're gonna head to Flagstaff tonight to get a shower because we have Planet Fitness memberships, and we need one after this morning because we both got way sweatier than we thought we were gonna be in that national park. It was hot and we are sticky, so we need a shower. And then we're going to head up to the Grand Canyon tomorrow.
Get tired chasing our dreams when I'm with you and you're with me. It'll never get higher than we can reach.
It's almost impossible to beat a nice shower. Actual showers, not swimsuit showers at the back of the van. So that felt really good to get cleaned up after a long day of being out in the sun, hiking, sweating, and getting gross. So definitely feeling a lot better after that.
And right around the corner from Planet Fitness was Burger King, so that's actually what we're eating for a late dinner tonight. Technically, we went to the gym. We didn't work out, but that's a technicality. But we're gonna eat our Burger King and then hit the road. We're about an hour and a half away from the Grand Canyon from where we're at in Flagstaff. So we're gonna get as close as possible to there tonight so that way we can wake up and we'll be at the Grand Canyon. That's where we're gonna leave you here tonight with us in a parking lot in Burger King somewhere in Flagstaff. And we'll see you all tomorrow at the Grand Canyon.